And that is why it is absolutely imperative that we get the truth out. I am committed to producing more programs like this one, tackling the vital issues that we face as a nation. But I need your help, your support. We are solely dependent upon viewers like you who say, this information is vital. It must get out. If you feel that way, please let me hear from you today. And to thank you for a gift of any amount, I want to send you the persuasive book, Evolution's Fatal Fruit, by a former evolutionist turned scientific creationist. This book compiles all of the evidence for the damaging nature of evolution in one place. And if you know anyone who believes evolution is a harmless theory of origins, get this book into their hands. It's time to help people wake up to the facts before the trail of destruction extends any farther. To send your gift, just write to me, James Kennedy, Box 555, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33302. Or to use a credit card, call toll-free 1-888-334-9680. The good news is the facts of science are on the side of those who believe in a creator. You've seen some of those facts today, and that's why if you can give a gift of $35 or more to help, I'll also send you a personal copy of today's special television program, which includes additional information that you won't see during this broadcast. I want you to have the facts at your fingertips to refer to time and time again, as well as to share with those that you know. The truth is powerful, my friend, so please write or call today and help spread the word. The address again is James Kennedy, Box 555, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 33302. Or call 1-888-334-9680. Or you can go to our secure website, www.crm.tv.
If one were to ask how much blood has actually been shed in the name of Darwinism, I think for most people it would be a total surprise. Because you could start off with Darwin and his little theory, and I'm sure Darwin never had a clue of where it would lead to. But if we were not made in the image of God, but rather in the image of man, then you could get rid of the undesirables. Well, this went along, and it certainly went along in America as much as Europe, where they sterilized what they called the feeble-minded.
We see vestiges of social Darwinism even today, particularly among those who would say, we're better off if we don't bring children into the world when they're coming in under disadvantageous circumstances, whether that's economic or whether perhaps they don't fit in the plans of a family because you don't want to get too large, or maybe it's not exactly the child you wanted. There may be a risk here in that child, and so we terminate pregnancies, and that is a form of social Darwinism. I had a child that was born with juvenile rheumatoid arthritis, and that child was a magnificent human being, and I wouldn't have done without that child for anything in the world.
When you have a biology teacher mentioning scientific facts like the Cambrian explosion, he's out of work. Lawsuits are brought to prevent facts from being told about Darwinism because children must be baptized in the religion of Darwinism to prepare them for the coming belief in atheism. And ordinary people are constantly on the defensive on this separation of church and state, separation of church and state. Well, that means separation of your church and state. Their church is the state.
Dear friend, we have had nearly 150 years of the theory of Darwinian evolution. And what has it brought us? Whether Darwin intended it or not, millions of deaths, the destruction of those deemed inferior, the devaluing of human life, increasing hopelessness. Darwin's legacy has been deadly indeed. Ironically, many of the scientific foundations on which evolution is based are crumbling, yet the ACLU and their friends on the courts make sure that there's only one view of science taught in our schools, a godless one at that. The time has come to recognize that evolution is a bad idea and should be frankly discarded into the dustbin of history. Thank